So I have my little setup here with my plein air tripod, and I'm using Fabriano 100% cotton cold pressed paper, and I'm using a number 14 Neptune series from Princeton. Really big brush. It's brand new, so the tip is perfectly pointy, and it makes those great little pointy leaves. I've shown you guys many times on how to make these leaves. Go look at some of my videos. Oh, I'm adjusting the camera. On how to, there's some videos I think I'll put in here, like a link to the videos on just how to make leaves with certain brushes, and each brush is going to make a leaf a little bit different. There's a very loose, floppy kind of brush, and I'm looking for that loose floppiness, and it has a great point because it's brand new, right? So the colors that I use today, right now in the beginning, I've mixed some cadmium yellow deep with some peacock blue, and you get that bright chartreusey green. And you can see my hydrangeas in the background here, because this is the side yard of my house. You might see Brady pop in here and there, my dog, my golden doodle. And see, I'm just making little lines, pulling it out. And you don't have to paint exactly what you see. You get the essence of it. Plein air is about like capturing the moment, the feeling, all that good stuff. It doesn't have to be every little window, every little nook and cranny, every little leaf, every little thing. How it's supposed to be super sunny in one area, super dark in the other. It could be that. But it's an expression of how and what you see. Like, it's an expression of what you see. Basically, that's what it is. So maybe mine is a little bit different than the actual bush. The bush is more rounded, and I wanted it to have some more free-flowing. So here I'm adding some deeper greens. I mix Prussian blue with cadmium yellow deep and some burnt umber. That's my combo I always use for like deeper colors. And this is a medium tone. And if I want it even darker, I'll add more Prussian, a little bit more burnt umber. It's hard to see everything. I try to figure out how you can show everything. I'm using a special attachment that has like an arm that clips to my plein air easel, because I'm going to take that with me on my trips going forward and my retreats in September. So I was kind of playing around with plein air today with this contraption and see if it's going to work out, so you can see what's behind me that I'm looking at, and then see what I'm kind of painting here. It's hard to see everything. I would actually need a separate like tripod, and then you have to see my butt. You don't want to see that. So here I'm just making some simple loose strokes. There's some daylilies in the bottom underneath the hydrangea plant. So I'm making those little simple like line strokes. It's a little twist to the arm, right? I have my paper towel in my hand, and I'm tapping the little hydrangeas. Now what I use for the colors is this, 3 different colors. I use a little cobalt, ultramarine blue deep. I even use this color called vertider blue, and then I tap in a little bright rose in some of those colors, and it gets a little purple. So playing around with the different like pale blues, and depending on how much water you're putting in the color, like ultramarine blue deep, it'll be really pale blue. Now keep in mind that these hydrangeas are just starting to bloom, so there's a lot of that chartreuse green inside there also. But I'm just doing a little tippy taps. You know me and my little tippy taps, pushing down, leaving a little left over there. And then as it's a little damp, you can go in and tap in a little bit deeper color, maybe kind of went to one side and the bottom, or to the right, to indicate where the shadows are, that kind of thing. You see, I made my little go out a little bit more. So I'm just slowly filling this in here and there, taking my time, seeing where I want to put this, get the expression of how I want it to look. I do want it to have some air. Now the bush is a little more condensed and there's some dark tones. There's a lot of like negative space that's in there. And I originally started a plein air painting. This is my second one, by the way. I didn't like it. I didn't like putting all the darks in, and so you could see that it's a big round bush. It just felt so inorganic, and it was not happening. So I went back over it again. Sometimes when you like are really, like I said, when you're seeing what you see and you're trying to paint it, and it's just, you're just not feeling what you want it to feel. It wasn't feeling free and loose to me. It was feeling very tight and kind of boring, and I didn't like it. So now I'm back over it again, and I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have some more lines that come out. And there are branches that kind of tweak out of that kind of roundish bush, but I exaggerated it, and that's what your artist's point of view is going to be like. So here I'm adding in that chartreusey color, because you can see there's some blooms that have not bloomed yet, and they have that green chartreuse color, and some that have. And you can mix the combo, because there's like that color green in with some of the blue. It's happening right now. Yeah, I just wanted to have some air. The first time didn't fly with me. So I'm mixing up more paint here. And sometimes it's hard to see like every nook and cranny that I'm doing, but you get the idea. Probably mixing up some deeper greens at this point, which I told you is the combo that I use is Prussian blue with cadmium yellow deep and burnt umber. So yeah, I'm just going to tippy tapping around, pushing down in some areas, making some leaves, starting to fill in the deeper values of the green. So you can see it's starting to come alive. It was very monotone, right? Very like mid-tone, mid-tone, mid-tone. Then you add that deeper color, it pops, it gives it life. I've talked about this all the time. I have my last tutorial, same thing. Values are key to any painting. You know, your eye is going to go where the value, like if an intense value, your eye is going there, right? If it's all intense, it's kind of moving around the whole entire painting. So that's how you want to convey it. If it's all soft, some people want to paint a super soft painting, and that's their style, and that's fine. It's up to you. And your eye is going around that whole entire soft painting. And there are a lot of illustrators that I follow that I love that have very soft kind of tones and not like a really intense, harsh, you know, values in there. So I'm putting some little lines here and there, adding little leaves, and I'm just playing with slowly. Don't want to go fast, even though I paint pretty fast. Where I'm putting some new values, some deeper values, because I don't want to turn into that mushroom bush again. I want it to have some organic life to it, some energy. So I want to do this slower and more conscious of where I'm putting the things. It's also very difficult because it's sunny right in that section. It's a little shady behind me, but if I put myself in shade, it's, you know, it's hard to see everything. So it's tricky when you do plein air. Some people have like that umbrella that goes over them. So there's a little side funky branch that comes out in this bush in the bottom, which I always wanted to portray, and I put that in there, like wiggly wonky branch. So plein air is very, and also you guys can't tell in this picture, in this painting, and in this video, it is super windy out. I was shocked that my tripod did not blow over. It was very, very windy out today. So kudos to this lightweight tripod. I bought the plein air easel on Etsy. I will try and find it again to send it to you, who I bought it from. It wasn't exactly cheap, and I think the materials are cheap. It's just because the person actually created it, so it's, you know, pricey. I think it was like $150 or something, but it came with the tripod easel, and everything's all lightweight. I think it's under 2 pounds for the whole entire thing, right? So it's a win-win situation if you are either coming to my retreat or going to a thing on your own. You want to have a plein air easel. It's great. So here I'm adding some, like I said, more little organic branches shooting out, some more greens around here. Just taking my time, seeing where I want to put some dark tones, the medium to mid, that light chartreuse green. And here's a real deep green. Now I'm really putting that deeper green in, see? Your eye is instantly going there, isn't it? Because this painting's kind of further back. Not up close like some of my tutorials. You see how your eye is instantly going there, right? I always tell people to look through your phone lens to see if you have some holes in your painting, you're missing something, or the values just seem so dull. You can look through your camera lens and you can tell where it's missing. Another trick is to have like a reverse magnifying glass. A lot of fine artists use those too. So I'm adding in the deeper greens, just little stems, little marks here and there. But you see your eye is definitely going to that middle to the left, middle to upper left area where I put those deep greens around those hydrangeas, right? Do you see how I'm doing this? So this is what you need to kind of play around with yourself. Yeah. And you can't see another bucket I have below that's like clean water. And of course I'm at my house, so I can always change out the water. It's a little tricky when you're in plein air. You might need like 2 water bottles and yeah, you know, try and use the dirty water as much as possible, and then you get a clean water. Now I'm adding in some ground. I'm using some burnt umber and some Payne's Gray. I also did some shadows with some ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. So it's putting a little ground because it looks like it was floating. It needs to have something in there to ground it. So that darker color right now is the ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. Colors I use for grays all the time. And depending on how much burnt sienna you use or ultramarine blue you use, it becomes bluer or browner. So you have to play around with that. I like it more on the blue end. Personally, it's my thing. I put a little too much brown out there. I think I'm going to lift some of this out. And just by taking the damp brush and lifting it, tapping back on your paper towel, and you can remove that paint. I'll add some green in there instead. Just little leaves can indicate that there's a daylily kind of there. Playing around with that. And of course, see, it needs to be grounded. This whole entire plant, it's like can't be floating, right? I'll add some more daylily kind of leaves over here. Just this little boop, the line. I love my sound effects, right? So again, I'll start adding in here and there some midtones and some deeper tones. Start building from there. I'm just tippy tapping around the hydrangeas. the darker values of the greens, just little taps you see. And I don't want to push down too much, add too much too soon. It's hard to show you, like, there you go. If I use it on that side, turning my arm that way, you can see better. Sometimes I'm not conscious of that. I'm sorry if you can't see, but it's very difficult to be conscious of everything all at once. Especially when there's wind blowing around you and you see trucks going by and noise. I mean, I'm doing a voiceover, so you can't hear all that, but there's all kinds of chaos going around my neighborhood today. You see how much better that is? If I didn't have a rounded type bush, I added those little blooms out to the left, and it has that nice organic feel to it. It feels a little looser and freer, and I think it's much prettier. And adding little tippy taps of some other colors in between some of the leaves down there to indicate that some bloom's growing down that way as well. You just want to move it around the page, right? Or you could have it kind of on one side, and that's the composition that you're going for. I kind of want you to see the blues kind of all around, but you see they're kind of really concentrated to that middle upper left, the deeper colors. But then you see the soft ones in the right. So then, you know what I mean? And you don't have to paint the whole background. You're just painting the hydrangea bush. You see, that's another thing you have to learn how to do when you're plein air. What are you going to paint? You're going to paint the whole entire scene, or just edit it out and just paint the bush? Or I could have just painted a hosta there that the deer hasn't killed yet. They usually kill it, and that's a big one too. So I'm adding in that deeper value of the ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna, kind of on the browner side, right? So it's starting to ground the plant, so it wasn't like floating in the air. I'm mixing more paint. If you see my brush being taken away and it's kind of like a lull, it's because I'm mixing paint. I could start and stop it, but I'm mixing the paint. I'm adding that bluish gray tone, adding some deeper values. Now I might go around in some of these green areas. This Brady says hello. He hangs out with me everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm adding the deeper values, kind of negative painting in between the branches of the green here, just in the smaller part of the bush, not the whole entire bush. You could have done like upper more, like, you know, in the bush, and then it wouldn't feel so roundish like a mushroom bush. But I just did it a little bit towards the bottom, going towards the ground, so it makes sense because it's really like you can see from the view in the distance, it's much darker, right? So you can add more value in there if you want to. I didn't choose to add a ton. Again, I wanted this like light and airy feel, just kind of free-flowing hydrangea. Brady's sniffing around, checking out if anybody's getting in his territory. If he smells any deer that have been there the night before. He's so funny. Yeah, so I'm adding more of that color, like I said before, the grays. I might add a little lunar black in there just to punch it up a little bit more because it will dry lighter. See, you can see it looks like lighter already. So I'm going to go back again. You know, in watercolor, you might have to do 3 or 4 glazes. The glaze is just another layer of color to get that deep value. Or you could really use a thick paint right out of the tube. You know, there's 2 ways to do it. Thick paint right out of the tube, you can't come back from that. Glazing, you can do it slowly so you can see if you like it or not. There's a difference between the two. And I have many videos on both. Yeah, I'm just going to go back in. And there's a little trick I just used here. If you can see the light green. I add a little white gouache with my green so it just goes right over that dark color. If you wanted to have a light branch or two coming over the dark color, you can add white watercolor too, but I add some gouache to the green and then it just goes right over that dark color. So I'm almost pretty satisfied. I think I'm almost there. People ask all the time, how do you know when to stop? If you feel like you're just playing with it. Do you know what I mean? You keep playing with it, you're overworking it. Right? You kind of know, and then you doubt, right? I think it's like a time like, you know, I was like, it's just about there. I know in my head it's just about there, but I feel like it needs a little something. And this is where you can go overboard and you can make a mistake by overworking it. Sometimes it's better to step back if you don't know when to stop, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just adding just a little bit deeper, little tippy taps, a little bit of like extra energy of dark color around some of the blooms and here and there. Not much, just a little bit here and there, but I kind of know I'm just about done. And if I go any more, it's going to be overworked and ugly and I'm going to hate it. This is the kind of instruction you would get if you were at a workshop or a retreat. I actually have 4 spots left in my Spain retreat, launching another one on Patreon today. So, you know, go check that out. And I hope you enjoyed my little process here and seeing how I do plein air. And happy painting!